남규태방송 시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까. 오늘은 2023년 5월 7일 일요일입니다. 현재 시간은 오전 7시 9분입니다. 성경공부 479회 방송을 시작하겠습니다. 성경은 열왕기 9장 31절부터 읽어보겠습니다. As Jehu entered the gate, she asked, "Have you come in peace, you chimney, you murderer of your master?" He looked up at the window and called out, "Who is on my side? Who 2 or 3 eunuchs looked down at him, threw her down. Yehu said, so they threw her down, and some of her blood spattered the hall and the horses as they trampled her underfoot. Yehu went in and ate and drank. Take care of that cursed woman, he said, and bury her. For she was a king's daughter. But when they went out to bury her, they found nothing except her skull, her feet, and her hands. They went back and told Yehu, who said, "This is the word of the Lord that he spoke through his servant Eliah the Tishbite on the plot of ground at Jezreel. Those will devour Jezebel's flesh. Jezebel's body will be like dung on the ground in the plot at Jezreel, so that no one will be able to say, 'This is Jezebel.'" Now there were in Samaria servant sons of the house of Ahab. So Yehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria, to the officials of Jezreel, to the elders, and to the guardians of Ahab's children. He said, "You have your master's sons with you, and uh, you have chariots and horses, fortified city, and weapons. Now, as soon as this letter reaches you, choose the best and the most worthy of your master's sons and set him on his father's throne. Then fight for your master's house. But they were terrified and said, "If two kings could not resist him, how can we?" So the place administrator, the city governor, the elders, and the guardians sent this message to Jehu. We are your servants, and we will do anything you say. We will not appoint anyone as a king. You do whatever you think best. Then Yehu wrote them a second letter, saying, "If you are on my side and will obey me, take the heads of your master's sons and come to me in Jezreel by this time tomorrow." Now the royal princes, 70 of them, were with the leading men of the city who were rallying them. When the letter arrived, these men took the princes and slaughtered all 70 of them. They put their heads in baskets and sent them to Yehu in Jezreel. When the messenger arrived, he told Jehu, "They have brought the heads of the princes." Then Jehu ordered, "Put them in 2 piles at the entrance of the city gate until morning." The next morning, Jehu went out. He stood before all the people and said, "You are in no you are innocent. It was I who conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? Now, then, then another word the Lord has spoken against the house of Ahab will fail. The Lord has done what he announced through his servant Elijah. So Jehu killed everyone in Jezreel who remained of the house of Ahab, as well as all his chief men, his close friends, and his priests, leaving him no survivor. Jehu then set out and went toward Samaria at Beth Eked of the shepherds. He met some relatives of Ahaziah, king of Judah and asked, who are you? They said, we are relatives of Hajjah, and we have come down to greet the families of the king and of the king mother. Take them alive, he ordered, so they took them alive and slaughtered them by the well of Beth-Eded. 42 of them. He left no survivor. After he left there, he came upon Yehonadab, son of Ribkab, who was on his way to meet him. Yehu greeted him and said, are you in accord with me as I am with you? I am. Yehonadab answered, if so, said Yehu, give me your hand. So he did, and Yehu helped him up into the chariot. Yehu said, come with me and see my chair for the Lord. Then he set him ride along in his chariot. When Yehu came to Samaria, he killed all who were left there of Ahab's family. He destroyed them according to the word of the Lord spoken to Elijah. Then Yehu brought all the people together and said to them, serve Baal a little. Yehu will serve him much. Now summon all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, and all his priests. See that no one is missing, because I am going to hold a great sacrifice for Baal. Anyone who fails to come will no longer give. But Yehu was acting deceptively in order to destroy the servants of Baal. Yehu said, call an assembly in honor of Baal. So they proclaimed it. Then he sent word throughout Israel, and all the servants of Baal came. Not one stayed away. They crowded into the temple of Baal until it was full from one end to the other. And Yehu said to the keeper of the wardrobe, bring robes for all the servants of Baal. So he brought out robes for them. Then Yehu and Yehonadab, son of Rechab, went into the temple of Baal. Yehu said to the servants of Baal, look around and see that no one who serves the Lord is here with you, only servants of Baal. So they went into make sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Yehu had posted 80 men outside with this warning: if one of you lets any of the men I am placing in your hands escape, it will be your life for his life. As soon as Yahoo had finished marking the burnt offering, he ordered the guards and officers, go in and kill them. Let no one escape. So they cut them down with the sword. The guards and the officers threw the bodies out and then entered the inner shrine of the temple of Baal. They brought the sacred stone out of the temple of Baal and burned it. They demolished the sacred stone of Baal and tore down the temple of Baal, and people have used it for lettering to this day. So Yehu destroyed the Baal worship in Israel. However, he did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nabat, which he had caused Israel to commit. The worship of the golden calves at Bethel and Dan. The Lord said to Yehu, because you have done well in accomplishing what is right in my eyes, and have done to the house of Ahab all I had in mind to you. Your descendants will sit on the throne of Israel to the fourth generation. Yet Jehu was not careful to keep the law of the Lord, the God of Israel, with all his heart. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, which he had caused Israel to commit. In those days, the Lord began to reduce the size of Israel. Hazael overpowered the Israelites throughout their territory east of the Jordan, in all the land of Gilead, the region of Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh from Aroer by the Arnon, George, through Gilead to Besham, as for the other events of Yehu's religion, all he did and all his achievements they not are written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Yehu rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria, and Jehoahaz, his son, succeeded him as king. At the time that Jehoiakim reigned over Israel in Samaria was 28 years. When Athaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she proceeded to destroy the whole royal family. But Yehoshaphat, the daughter of King Jehoram and the sister of Ahaziah, took Joash, son of Ahaziah, and stole him away from among the royal princes who were about to be murdered. She put him and his nurse in a bedroom to hide him from Athaliah, so he was not killed. He remained hidden with his nurse at the temple of the Lord for 6 years, while Athaliah ruled the land. In the 7th year, Jehoiada sent for the commanders of units of 100, the Kirites and the Galdas, and had them brought to him at the temple of the Lord. He made a covenant with them and put them under oath at the temple of the Lord. Then he showed them the king's son. He commanded them, saying, "This is what you are to do. You who are in the 3 companies that are going on duty on the service, instead of you guarding the royal place, stood at the third gate and stood at the gate behind the guard, who take turns guarding the temple. And you who are in the other 2 companies that normally go over service duty are all to guard the temple for the king. Station yourselves around the king, each of you with a weapon in hand. Anyone who approaches your ranks is to be put to death. Stay close to the king wherever he goes." The commanders of units of 100 did just as Jehoiada, the priest, ordered. Each one took his men, those who were going on duty on the service, and those who were going off duty, and came to Jehoiada, the priest. Then he gave the commanders the spears and the shields that had belonged to King David and that were in the temple of the Lord. The guards, each with a weapon in hand, stationed themselves around the king near the altar and the temple from the south side to the north side of the temple. Jehoiada brought out the king's son and put the crown on him. He presented him with a copy of the covenant and proclaimed him king. They anointed him, and the people clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king!" When Athaliah heard the noise made by the guards and the people, she went to the people at the temple about the Lord. She looked, and there was the king standing by the pillar, as the custom was. The officials and the temple trim Peter were beside the king, and all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. Then Athaliah tore her robes and called out, "Treason, treason!" Jehoiada the priest ordered the commanders of units of 100 who were in charge of the troops bring her out between the ranks and put to the sword anyone who follows her. For the priest had said she must not be put to death in the temple of the Lord. So they seized her as she reached the place where the horses enter the place grounds, and there she was put to death. Jehoiada then made a covenant between the Lord and the king and the people that they would be the Lord's people. He also made a covenant between the king and the people. All the people of the land went to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They smashed the altars and the idols to pieces and killed Matan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Then Jehoiada the priest posted guards at the temple of the Lord. He took with him the commanders of hundreds, the Kerites, the guards, and all the people of the land, and together they brought the king down from the temple of the Lord and went into the place, entering by way of the gate of the guards. The king then took his place on the royal throne. All the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was calm because old Saria had been slain with the sword at the place. 예, Joash was 7 years old when he began to reign. In the 7th year of Jehu, Joash became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 40 years. His mother's name was Gpr. She was from Beersheba. Joash did what was right in the eyes of the Lord all the years. Jehoiada, the priest, instructed him the high places. However, will not remove the people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. Joash said to the priests, collect all the money that is brought and create offerings to the temple of the Lord. The money collected in the census, the money received from personal oaths, and the money brought voluntary to the temple. Let every priest receive the money from one of the treasures, then use it to repair whatever damage is found in the temple. But by the 23rd year of King Joash, the priest still had not repaired the temple. Therefore, King Joash summoned Jehoiada, the priest, and the other priests, and asked them, "Why aren't you repaired the damage done to the temple? Take no more money from your treasures, but hand it over for repairing the temple." The priests agreed that they would not collect any more money from the people, and that one would not repair the temple themselves. Jehoiada, the priest, took a chest and bored a hole in its lid. He placed it beside the altar on the right side as one enters the temple of the Lord. The priests who guarded the entrance put into the chest all the money that was brought to the temple of the Lord. Whenever they saw that there was a larger amount of money in the chest, the royal care secretary and the high priest came, counted the money that had been brought into the temple of the Lord, and put it into bags. When the amount had been determined, they gave the money to the men appointed to supervise the worker on the temple. With it, they paid those who worked on the temple of the Lord, the carpenters and the builders, the masons and the stone cutters. They purchased the timber and blocks of dressed stone for the repair of the temple of the Lord, and made all the other expense of restoring the temple. The money brought into the temple was not spent for making silver basins, wick trimmers, sprinkling bowls, trumpets, or any other articles of gold on silver for the temple of the Lord. It was paid to the workers who used it to repair the temple. They did not require an accounting from those to whom they gave the money to pay the workers, because they acted with complete honesty. The money from the guilty offerings and sin offerings was not brought into the temple of the Lord. It belonged to the priests. About this time, Hazael, king of Aram, went up and attacked Gaza and captured it. Then he turned to attack Jerusalem, but Joash, king of Judah, took all the sacred objects dedicated by his predecessors. Yehoshaphat Jehoram and Ahaziah, the kings of Judah, and the gifts he himself had dedicated, and all the gold found in the treasuries of the temple of the Lord and of the royal place, and he sent them to Hazael, king of Aram, who then withdrew from Jerusalem. As for the other events of the reign of Joash and all he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? His officials conspired against him and assassinated him at Beth Millo on the road down to Shiloh. The officials who murdered him were Jozabad, son of Shimesh, and Jehozabad, son of Shomer. He died and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David, and Amaziah, his son, succeeded him as king. In the 23rd year of Joash, son of Ahijah, king of Judah, Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned reigned 17 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord by following the kings of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit, and he did not turn away from them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel, and for a long time he kept them under the power of Hazael, king of Aram, and Ben-Hadad, his son. Then Jehoahaz sought the Lord's favor, and the Lord listened to him, for he saw how severely the king of Aram was oppressing Israel. The Lord provided a deliverer for Israel, and they escaped from the power of Aram. So the Israelites lived in their own homes as they had before, but they did not turn away from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, which he had caused Israel to commit. They continued in them. Also, the Asherah pole remained standing in Samaria. Nothing had been left of the army of Jehoahaz except 50 horsemen, then chariots, and then 1,000-foot soldiers, for the king of Aram had destroyed the rest and made them like the dust at threshing time. For the other events of the reign of Jehoahaz, all he did and his achievements are not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Jehoahaz rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria, and Jehoash, his son, succeeded him as king. In the 70th year of Joash, king of Judah, Jehoash, the son of Jehoahaz, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 16 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, and did not turn away from any of the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit, he continued in them. As for the other events of the reign of Yehoash, all he did and his achievements, including his war against Amaria, king of Judah. They not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Yehoash rested with his ancestors, and Jeroboam succeeded him on the throne. Jehoash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elisha had been suffering from the illness from which he died. Jehoash, king of Israel, went down to see him and wept over him. My father, he cried, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. Elisha said, get a bow and some arrows, and he did so. Take the bow in your hands, he said to the king of Israel. When he had taken it, Elisha put his hands on the king's hands, opened its window, he said, and he opened it. Shoot, Elisha said, and he shot the Lord's arrow of victory, the arrow of victory over Aram. Elisha declared, you will completely destroy the Arameans at Apek. Then he said, take the arrows, and the king took them. Elisha told him, strike the ground. He struck it 3 times and stopped the man of God was angry with him and said, you should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times, then you would have defeated Aram and completely destroyed it, but now you will defeat it only 3 times. Elisha died and was buried. Now Moabite raiders used to enter the country every spring. Once while some Israelites were burying a man, suddenly they saw a band of raiders, so they threw the man's body into Elisha's temple. When the water touched Elisha's bones, the man came to life and stood up on his feet. Hazael, king of Aram, oppressed Israel throughout the reign of Jehoahaz, but the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion and showed concern for them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. To this day, he has been unwilling to destroy them or banish them from his presence. Hazael, king of Aram, died, and Ben-Hadad, his son, succeeded him as king. Then Joash, son of Jehoahaz, recaptured from Ben-Hadad, son of Hadael, the towns he had taken in battle from his father Jehoahaz. 3 times Jehoash defeated him, and so he recovered the Israelite towns. In the second year of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother's name was Jehoadan. She was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the ears of the Lord, but not as his father David had done. In everything he followed the example of his father Joash, the height places. However, will not remove the people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. After the kingdom was firmly in his grace, he executed the officials who had murdered his father, the king. Yet he did not put the children of the assassins to death in accordance with what is written in the book of the law of Moses, where the Lord commanded parents not to be to death for their children, nor children put to death for their parents. Each will die for their own sin. He was the one who defeated 10,000 Edomites in the belly of the salt, and captured Selah in battle, calling in Jok still the name it has to this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, the son of Judah, Jehu, king of Israel, with the challenge. Come, let us face each other in battle. But Yehoashi, king of Israel, replied to Amaziah, king of Judah, uh, sister in Lebanon sent a message to sister in Lebanon, give your daughter to my son in marriage. Then a wild beast in Lebanon came along and trampled the sister underfoot. You have indeed defeated Adam, and now you are arrogant, glory in your victory, but stay at home. Why ask for trouble and cause your own downfall and the death of Judah also? Amaziah, however, would not listen, so Yehoashi, king of Israel, attacked he and Amaziah, king of Judah, faced each other at Beth Shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed by Israel, and every man fled to his home. Yehoashi, king of Israel, captured Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Joash, the son of Aziah, at Beth Shemesh. Then Yehoashi went to Jerusalem and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the Ephraim gate to the corner gate, a section about 400 cubits long. He took all the gold and silver and all the streakers found in the temple of the Lord and in the treasures of the royal place. He also took hostages and returned to Samaria. As for the other events of the reign of Yehoashi, what he did and his achievements, including his war against Amaziah, king of Judah, the narrated in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Joash rested with his ancestors and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel, and Jeroboam, his son, succeeded him as king. Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, lives for 15 years after the death of Yehoash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel. As for the other events of Amaziah's reign, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah. They conspired conspired against him in Jerusalem, and he prayed to Lachish, but they sent men after him to Lachish and killed him there. He was brought back by horse and was buried in Jerusalem with his ancestors in the city of David. Then all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in place of his elder Amaziah. He was the one who rebuilt Elas and restored it to Judah after Amaziah listed with his ancestors. In the 15th year of Amaziah, son of Joash, king of Judah, Jeroboam, son of Jehoash, king of Israel, became king in Samaria, and he reigned 41 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord and did not turn away from any of the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. He was the one who restored the boundaries of Israel from Hamas to the Dead Sea in accordance with the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, spoken through his servant Jonah, son of Amittai, the prophet from Geth-hepher. The Lord had seen how bitterly everyone in Israel, whether slave or free, was suffering. There was no one to help them. And since the Lord had not said he would brought out the name of the Israel from under heaven, he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam, son of Jehoash. As for the other events of Jeroboam's reign, all he did and his military achievement, including how he recovered for Israel was Damascus and Mesa, which had belonged to Judah. They are not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam rested with his ancestors, the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son succeeded him as king. In the 77th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Azariah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 16 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 52 years. His mother's name was she was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father Amaziah had done the high place. However, we are not removed. The people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. The Lord afflicted the king with leprosy until the day died, and he lived in a separate house. Jotham, the king's son, the king's son had charge of the place and governed the people of the Lord. As for the other event of Azariah's reign and all that all he did, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah. Azariah rested with his ancestors and was buried near them in the city of David, and Jotham, his son, succeeded him as king. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Zechariah, son of Jeroboam, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 6 months. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, as his predecessors had done. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. Shallum, son of Jabesh, conspired against Zechariah. He attacked him in front of the people, assassinated him and succeeded him as king. The other events of Zechariah's reign are written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. So the word of the Lord spoken to Jehu was fulfilled. Your descendants will sit on the throne of Israel to the fourth generation. Shallum, son of Jabesh, became king in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned in Samaria on 1 month. Then Menahem, son of Gadi, went from Tolja up to Samaria. He attacked Shallum, son of Yabesh, in Samaria. Assassinated him and succeeded him as king. The other events of Shallum's reign and conspiracy he read written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. At that time, Menahem, starting out from Persia attacked Tiposa and everyone in the city and its big vicinity. Because they refused to open their gates, he shackled Tiposa and rifled upon all the pregnant women. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Menahem, son of Gadi, became king of Israel, and he reigned in Samaria 10 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord during his entire reign. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nabat, which he had caused Israel to commit. Then Paul, king of Assyria, invaded the land, and Menahem gave him 1,000 talents of silver to gain his support and strengthen his own hold on the kingdom. Manasseh ejected this money from Israel. Every wealthy person had to contribute 50 shekels of silver to be given to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria withdrew and strayed in the land no longer. As for the other events of Menahem's reign and all he did, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. Menahem rested with his ancestors, and because his son succeeded him as king. In the 5th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, son of Menahem, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 2 years. Pekah, did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. One of his chief officers, Pekah, son of Remaliah, conspired against him, taking 50 men of Gilead with him. He assassinated Pekah along with Argob and Ari in the site citadel of the royal place at Samaria. So Pekah killed Pekah and succeeded him as king. The other events of Pekka, Reagan, and all he did are written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekah, son of Remaliah, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 20 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, which he had caused Israel to commit. In the time of Pekah, king of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, came and took Aijan, Abel, Besser, Maacah, Janoah, Kadesh, and Hazer. He took Gilead and Galilee, including all the land of Naphtali, and deported the people to Assyria. Then Hoshea, son of Ara, conspired against Pekah, son of Remaliah. He attacked and assassinated him, and then succeeded him as king in the 20th year of Jordan. Son of Uzziah, as for the other events of Pekah's reign, and all he did, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel. In the second years of Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 16 years. His mother's name was Erusha, daughter of Zadok. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, just as his father Uzziah had done. The high places, however, will not remove. The people continued to offer sacrifices and burn incense there. Jotham rebuilt the upper gate of the temple of the Lord. As for the other events of Jotham's reign and what he did, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah. In those days, the Lord began to send the Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, against Judah. Jotham rested with his ancestors and was buried with them in the city of David, the city of his father, and Ahaz, his son, succeeded him as king. In the 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, Ahaz, son of Jotham, king of Judah, began to reign. Ahaz was 20 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 16 years. Unlike David, his father, he did not do what was right in the eyes of the Lord his God. He followed the ways of the kings of Israel, and even sacrificed his son in the fire, engaging in the destructible practice of the nations. The Lord had driven out before the Israelites. He offered sacrifices and buried and burned incense all the high places on the hilltops and under every spreading tree. Then Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah, son of Rimari, king of Israel, marched up to fight against Jerusalem and besieged Ahaz, but they could not overpower him. At the time, Rezin, king of Aram, recovered Elisa for Aram by driving out the people of Judah. Edomites then moved into Elas and have lived there to this day. As sent messengers to say to Tiglath Pileser, king of Assyria, I am your servant and Beser. Come up and save me out of the hand of the king of Aram and of the king of Israel, who are attacking me. And Ahaz took the silver and gold found in the temple of the Lord and in the treasuries of the royal place, and sent it as a gift to the king of Assyria. The king of Assyria complied by attacking Damascus and capturing it. He deported its inhabitants to Kir and put Rezin to death. Then King Ahaz went to Damascus to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria. He saw an altar in Damascus and sent to Uriah the priest a sketch of the altar with detailed plans for its construction. So Uriah the priest built an altar in accordance with all the plans the king Ahaz had sent from Damascus and finished it before King Ahaz returned. When the king came back from Damascus and saw the altar he approached it and presented offerings on it. He offered up his burnt offering and grain offering, poured out his drink offering, and splashed the blood of his fellowship offerings against the altar. As for the bronze altar that stood before the Lord, he brought it from the front of the temple, from between the new altar and the temple of the Lord, and put it on the north side of the new altar. King Ahaz then gave these orders to Uriah the priest on the large new altar. Offer the morning burnt offering and the evening grain offering, the king's burnt offering and his grain offering, and the burnt offering of all the people of the land, and their grain offering, and their drink offering. Splash against this altar the blood of all the burnt offerings and sacrifices, but I will use the bronze altar for seeking guidance, and Uriah the priest did just as King Ahaz had ordered. King Ahaz cut off the side panels and removed the basins from the movable stench. He removed the sea from the bronze bars, then supported it and set it on a stone base. He took away the Sabbath canopy that had been built at the temple and removed the royal entryway outside the temple of the Lord in deference to the king of Assyria. As for the other events of the reign of Ahaz and what he did, they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah. Ahaz rested with his ancestors and was buried with them in the city of David, and his son succeeded him as a king. In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, Hoshea, son of Elah, became king of Israel in Samaria, and he reigned 9 years. He did evil in the eyes of the Lord, but not like the kings of Israel who preceded him. Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up to attack Hoshea, who had been Shalmaneser's vassal and had paid him tribute. The king of Assyria discovered that Hoshea was a traitor, for he had sent envoys to the king of Egypt, and he no longer paid tribute to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore, Salmaneser seized him and put him in prison. The king of Assyria invaded the entire land, marched against Samaria, and laid siege to it for 3 years. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria captured Samaria and deported the Israelites to Assyria. He settled them in Hela, in Gozan on the Harbor River, and in the towns of the Medes. All this took place because the Israelites had signed against the Lord their God, who had brought them up out of Egypt from under the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. They worshipped other gods and followed the practice of the nations the Lord had driven out before them, as well as the practices that the kings of Israel had introduced. The Israelites secretly did things against the Lord their God that we are not right, from watchtower to fortified city. They built themselves high places in all their towns. They set up sacred stones and Asherah poles on every high hill and under every spreading tree. At every high place they burned incense as the nations whom the Lord had driven out before them had done. They did wicked things that aroused the Lord's anger. They worshipped idols, though the Lord had said, "You shall not do this." The Lord warned Israel and Judah through all his prophets and seers. Turn from your evil ways, observe my commands and decrees in accordance with the entire law that I commanded your ancestors to obey, and that I believed to you through my servants, the prophets. But they would not listen, and were as stiff-necked as their ancestors, who did not trust in the Lord their God. They rejected his decrees and the covenant he had made with their ancestors and the statutes he had warned them to keep. They followed worthless idols and themselves became worthless. They imitated the nations around them, although the Lord had ordered them do not do as they do. They forsook all the commands of the Lord their God and made for themselves to idols cast in the shape of cherubs and on Asherah pole. They bowed down to all the starry hosts and they worshipped Baal. They sacrificed their sons and daughters in the fire. They practiced divination and sought omens and sold themselves to do evil in the eyes of the Lord, arousing his anger. 1기하 17장 17절까지 읽어보았습니다. 성경공부 479회 방송은 여기서 종료하겠습니다. 주기도문 기도하고 방송을 끝내겠습니다. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread and forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours in the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. 성경공부 479회 방송을 시청해 주신 분께 감사드리겠습니다. 480회 방송에서 다시 만나겠습니다. 안녕히 계십시오.